10 minutes. As I promised, we're going to have quite the match today, and I think we can start to get this ready. Can you guys, or is one of you in touch with Shinsui and Saku?
I can message them now. I have them both added. Tell them you can start.
Yep, I'm messaging Shinsui as well. Awesome.
Well, I'm ready to see one hell of a hero match.
Yes, I think this is going to be quite the match. And
Never underestimate the power of Saku. He may be a friendly Canadian, but that doesn't mean he won't wreck you in Hearthstone.
Saku has carried my team a very long time ago. I don't even know if he remembers playing with me and Chigmo in the same team. That was my first season, if I'm not mistaken. I think we were all in the same team. And then the season after, I played with Shinsui, so quite symbolic here. I'm just waiting for them to be ready. I am going to queue to Saku first.
It looks like Saku's close to spectators right now.
Oh. Could always be friendless bug, because that's also
that is still going. Oh, nope. It looks like Saku's opened it up, and we are getting in there.
It's going to be Saku's Paladin versus Shunsui's Warrior.
Ooh.
Spicy.
We're going to see an interesting start. So, I'm not very familiar with this matchup. I'm going to throw this to Base. How does this matchup usually go?
So, one of the typical ways that Warrior struggles is big taunts. So when that Libram of Hope comes down, it is rough. So the Warrior wants to kind of, put on some chip damage earlier and try and find a way to burn them out. And it's going to kind of come down to how does the Paladin draw, because they have really limited draw resources. So sometimes they just never even see that Libram of Hope. You can get under them. But they run lots of heal. So a lot of times your damage doesn't stick. The Dragon package can, buff up some lifesteal minions and get you some Amber Watchers that just heal you and put a body in play. Let them control the board coming back, and if the Paladin establishes its game plan, Warrior has a really rough time.
Right. This is not looking too great from the Paladin perspective so far. I don't see any great cards that you're looking for.
No, but one of the upsides to the matchup is that while it is going to be important that Saku draws some cards and he will have enough time to actually build up upon that, because Warrior, even if Warrior does have ways of dealing some direct damage, it's going to take time before he's really able to beat him down. And I feel confident saying that by the time that happens, Saku will already have some sort of answer or some sort of strong play to make. So I think unless he just draws terribly the next 4 turns in a row, I think he's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. So,
interesting choice. He's going to choose to buff up the Murgle Gurgle instead of developing another 1/1.
Right. I think this makes sense because you want to have bodies that survive. At the same time, if the Warrior wants to remove this, it still looks really clean.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I don't see too much difficulty. You're kind of saving Skipper for comboing it with a Battle Rage if you can. And I think it looks like the matchup where you can do it. So we do see that early Wrangler. The Wrangler does not have anything that kills it easily from the other side, so it isn't something that the Paladin was looking forward to seeing here.
So now we see Saku draw the Lightforge Crusader, which confirms he is playing a pure Paladin version.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So something to think of, Baze. I think in this matchup, the Libram that makes everything 1 health that I just blanked on the name, Libram of Justice, that card can have a lot of potential, especially when you have it in Conk and you can get a discount.
Yeah. It's pretty solid. You know, it answers any of the boards they want to build. I think right now is probably we're going to just see it come down on a curve. But ideally, like to start, you know, with some discards, and I think Shinsui is about to draw a bunch of cards and be able to back this pressure up. But it's really good at clearing off the Blood Boil Brutes, which we're not going to see come down. I think that it'll just be a Consecration next turn, actually. But interesting that he's considering. Okay.
I think not using Battle Rage there is just a mistake, because
Yeah.
you really want to draw, especially in this matchup.
You really want to draw, but I think it's also a factor of you're not necessarily going to have a position where you can draw that many cards and have it work to such a benefit. Maybe he was afraid of overdrawing, but I think with that type of situation, burning one card isn't going to kill you.
No, and I think, seeing here the discount, you're going to start facing a lot of big bodies. What do you guys think of Conk versus just going for this big body here? Was Conk actually better?
I know. I think that right now you just set this up. Interesting that he only went with the 1.
Yeah, I don't see a reason to hold off on playing the Libram there, because it's not like this deck is going to be playing Silence or some way where it, you know, where you're going to get punished for playing both.
Yeah, Silence isn't really a thing in the meta right now, so...
I also think that was a little bit of a misplay from Shunsui, because I think he forgot his minions only had 1 health, and he was forced to just kill them all off without actually getting any damage into the taunt first. But
especially,
I mean, he
could have just Battle Raged. Battle Raged looked good there.
Oh, for sure. Well, I think he would have overdrawn, if I'm correct. I think he would have.
Honestly, with this deck, you're fine overdrawing.
I think
he
the
would
only
have had
issue...
to trade something. I think he would have been better off just trading something in first, but that's just to not overdraw, but that's just my opinion.
What do you think, Baze?
I agree. I think you could trade something off. You really don't want to burn your combo pieces.
Sure.
Sorry. Oh, man.
Yeah. Wow.
That's hilariously tempting, I won't lie.
I think you take it.
I think you take
it. If you just never die, you... Like, how are they ever going to win? Yeah. This is what's really rough for the Warrior is just Bronze Explorer getting lifesteal and getting buffs constantly is really rough, because it just constantly heals you to full health. I believe I played Zoroshio and he healed for something like 80 health in this matchup.
Oh, man.
It was amazing. Like I immediately went and I slapped the dragon package into a paladin deck and I hit the ladder. It was awesome.
Yeah. I remember playing this deck once on Demon Hunter, and buff minions on turns 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I was playing with +3/+3 the whole game, and that felt really good. When it works, it's insane.
So I'm going to assume, I think this is a great turn to clear the board.
Oh yes, I 100% agree.
I think so.
I think Saku sees it. Yep.
Yeah,
I don't think you're gonna. You've got 2 Libram of Justice. This is the type of situation where it is most ideal.
Yeah. With the Warrior deck, you're also always at the risk of basically getting OTK'd.
Right.
Yeah, that's another thing I think you could have considered as the Warrior is holding the coin like it's the Priest matchup, so you can get your Grom duplicated.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is gross.
Now here's the thing that I'm wondering now, is Shunsui going to try to set up for a big Grom play next turn? Oh, I think he is.
Yeah, you can set it. So you could have set up a 2-turn lethal here. Potentially, if you go your Skipper, play the Korkron, and then Rampage it and go face.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you're right.
Now they have to find a way to clear it and heal.
I think he's also, but he's probably thinking go wide, at the very least try to see what he can do.
Yeah. I think that's definitely the consideration. Choosing to front load the Skipper.
Interesting.
Don't actually like that Skipper there. I don't know, it just feels like a bad choice.
Yeah, I like this play though.
I kind of would rather see the other Libram of Justice come down
Yeah.
and set everything to 1.
Yeah.
At least clear off the skipper. You deny any battle rage. They're running low on cards. So at this point, Saku's left open the battle rage option. The Libram of Justice is like most effective against Grom specifically,
Right.
and the Blood Boy Brutes, which are both dead. So like the only thing you're saving it for is Grom, and hopefully you're just not dying to Grom when it comes down, I think, in this
Right.
position.
I have a feeling this is where the Grom comes out. Now he's just going to bring him down to 5.
Yeah.
I don't think I love this. This is just exposing yourself for way too small of a
bringing down
reward.
Yeah.
I agree. And the problem is he's going to be left with a very little if thanks to the second Libram.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh. Okay.
Oh, that is rough.
I think that
you have to go with the Libram.
Yeah, I think but man, I almost wonder if you want to just
Forward
go Libram
situation?
of Justice.
Mm,
They have to have exactly the other Korkron if you clear this board.
yeah. Well, double Rampage. Because you can't clear the whole thing.
But then how would he damage
Oh,
it?
no, you can clear the whole thing. So you could just go with the Libram.
Oh, wow. He's going to...
Yeah.
is just going to heal.
I think it's fine because you can then buff up this 8/8 taunt. You expect its Divine Shield is not going to last.
Yeah.
But
it's true. I mean, this is probably the safer play, especially because, well, now that's the thing. Unless he gets like a Rampage combo, like the best answers that Shunsui would have had to this big taunt are gone. Both Gromash, the Brutes, they're both gone. So I do actually think this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it would.
I want to add something that I think is Shansui's big mistake in this game, in my opinion. I think he's really, really undervaluing Battle Rage. The fact that he's playing against Paladin, which is a class that really, really, really wants to take the game long, and you're not taking all that draw early to just have all the pieces to OTK him, I think this adds to a lot of the reason why he's in trouble here.
Yes. Interesting inclusion with that Kargath.
Yeah, the Kargath, I don't really like it in most matchups. I think it can be good against Hunter, but that's kind of about it. It's not my favorite card. So we see that he is not clearing the 10-10. Or maybe he is. He might spend his inner rage.
He probably has to. Because now he's got a replenished hand, and this thing is going to deal a lot.
Yeah,
no, okay.
The other thing to note is that a lot of these decks have now chosen to include what's the 5-mana spell that doubles your attack?
Champion, right?
Yes, Champion. So that's like it's like the only finisher available to the Libram Paladin. So in that case, if you're holding that's lethal, and I think it's really interesting holding on to that inner rage. I think it is acknowledging that likely the only way Shunsui can finish this game is to duplicate and kill.
Right.
Okay.
I agree with this.
I don't disagree with going face.
Yeah, it's really hard to convince me to spend the 10 going into a minion, but this does open up for potential lethals.
It's also that once, I think it's also when the biggest minions in Shinsui's deck are gone, it's kind of hard to deny the prospect of going to face.
Ooh, interesting. It goes off.
Yes, I was wondering the same thing, how that interaction would go. And both secrets are going to trigger, so...
Yeah. There are no more secrets protecting him. This could just be lethal here, depending on where the bombs go and how much damage they deal.
So, what if you had rampaged your bomb, the girl, and then set off a bunch of bombs as you did this? That way,
Yeah.
they likely clear. Maybe you set off an inner rage at the very
Actually, he
end.
doesn't need to. Shunsui has lethal.
Is there lethal here?
Yes, because he's got the card
Oh
off
yeah, the
to
card
remove
gap.
it.
That's
Yep.
true. I did not see that.
I almost missed that. The bombs could have... the thing was, regardless of whether the bombs went, he actually had lethal. So, wow, I really did not expect that. I thought Saku had this, but Shunsui is going to take game 1.
Yeah, the paladin does not beat the warrior. We get to see the paladin go down really fast. Wasn't this supposed to be the most favorable matchup and kind of the reason why you brought the paladin?
Yep.
Yes.
So that's going to be very rough. I think you probably queue your own hunter here. No,
We are seeing the demon hunter queue. So we're going to see the demon hunter from Saku versus, again, the same warrior.
Shinsui has just loaded this list with legendaries. It's
Yeah.
got Terran, it's got Kargath, it's got Grom. I really hope it's got Deathwing too.
Just
I
everything.
doubt it, but I also could believe it.
Just put them all in. Give me them all. I love it.
I really like Saku's opening hand, though. But the Og Merchant, I don't know what to make of that, man.
Oh, that Og Merchant is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a really interesting inclusion. That's been growing a lot. I feel like a lot of people are now playing Og Merchant.
I think I can admit this because I've submitted lists in Pro with it, but I love Og Merchant. It is like having 4 beaming sidekicks.
That's interesting. Yeah. I gotta consider testing that.
Yeah. I think you're fine choosing to go face. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I love that.
No, I like either just developing the Battle Fiend, or just poking the 1/1 or turning it into a 1/1.
Yes. I think you either say I'm going to kill it next turn, or you just play the Battle Fiend and say, do whatever you want. You probably can't clear it. I'm going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not terrible because Saku can now develop the Battle Fiend and play like Chaos Strike or Hero Power into Og Merchant.
I kind of like the Hero Power into the Og Merchant.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that actually develops your board a bit more.
Yeah, you kind of want to protect your minion. You want to kill the Sky Raider. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no.
Okay, they're 2/2/1s, but one of them has a Divine Shield.
Yeah, I think
that's actually not a bad idea.
I like this play if you would poke the one, turn it into a 1/2, and this turn you're clearing it. Interesting.
That's the
Shinsui doesn't have a good way to deal with it anyways.
Right.
And this way you're guaranteed to have 2 minions, whereas he might just leave the Battle Fiend alone for a bit.
Yeah, but if you'd chosen to go the rogue dagger down technique of the 1-drop, you'd have a Divine Shield 2/2, a 2/1 or 2/1 against your opponent's weapon turn, so they can't clear the Battle Fiend, and then now you're likely just pushing lots of damage with it.
That being said, Saku does still have a lot of tempo on his side and can definitely set up for a turn 6 skull, so that's pretty nice for him.
Yeah. I don't know if I love that Saku kept the Spectral Sight.
Yes. I was going to say the same thing.
It's a tempo matchup, and I really don't like playing it here. I think you just want a Chaos Strike and a Hero Power to clear off the 2/3 and go face with your 3/1 Divine Shield. Like they likely would have cleared it off with a weapon, so you know that it's very likely to survive. Yes.
Yeah.
Love this.
I mean, I do think it's early enough where he can justify, but wait, is he going face?
He's going face.
Wow.
I mean, we don't
Saku is being very unpredictable today.
we don't know the list, so maybe that this is like a face demon hunter. Maybe it never trades.
Maybe he's also maybe he's thinking about this more from a from like a matchup standpoint of, you know, if they have the risky skipper, fine, but he's noticed that he hasn't really had much plays so far.
Yeah.
So he's just kind of developing, not really seeing much to fear. That could come back to bite him later, but we'll see.
I really don't like this style. I think the way I see it, this match is a lot about getting a board and hoping, a lot of times hoping they don't have skipper. That's actually a very common win condition in this matchup.
So, you know, we talked about getting the skull active.
Right.
You're gonna just shield up your girl. What I was kind of thinking is using up my twin slice, the hero power, the aug merchant to kill the armor smith, and then you know, playing spectral sight first, see what you get, just in case. But like that was a full use of my mana. It sets up warglaves on 5, skull on 6. Get them.
Yeah.
All right. I like this play though.
I think it should have been done earlier. You could have traded a lot more and just have safer space. I think a very common mistake is actually over trading, and I actually think it's a mistake in all seeds. We see it a lot.
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
I'm personally guilty of over trading by way more than I want to admit here. That being said, I don't think we're seeing that. We're seeing Saku going face a bit more than I would like.
Is this a Warglave's turn? Is this I mean, Spectral Sight's not bad.
I think it's warglaves. I think you probably warglaves and clean up the egg. Like, you know, with a twin slice.
I think he can definitely get away with doing that next turn.
Yeah. I think here we're just developing the board after the spectral sight, you know.
Right. I do.
But I like.
Go ahead.
I like developing the warglaves. You know, it uses two slices to clean up the egg, which is a threat all the time. You know,
right?
He hasn't had a way to use it, but like inevitably will. So I think it's always worth you just spending those couple slices.
Oh wow, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's
not really an error, but it's one of those things where it's like, man, hindsight.
Yeah, but you never play it as if you're going to get it. I believe they calculate it as a 1 in 13 chance that they get 1 of 7 lackeys. So, little joke.
Well, that's the thing. Sometimes you could, if you're trying to get one of like a couple different lackeys that'll work, that's fine. But here it's like that Kobold was the only lackey that would have actually solved the issue here, because he wouldn't have had anything else to play with the rush lackey.
Yeah. Oh man.
Bone Chewer
Brawler.
Yes.
Oh, this is display. I'm going to assume, Base, you're playing this in your list too.
No, I don't play the Bone Chewer. I do think it's a nice nod to you know, things like the mirror, where that really shines. But I think Bone Chewer Brawler is just a very solid card.
Yeah, it's underrated for sure.
It's definitely going to shine here because he doesn't have a skipper play yet, so that's really solid for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even with skipper, you need 3 pings to kill the Brawler at this point, or it's going to be just a really high attack minion that will punish you.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's not really even a good way to clear this. You either play your Blood Boil and trade them both, and then you're taking 6 to the face, very likely a Metamorphosis turn to set up the 2-turn. But yeah, I just think that Shinsui's hand's been kind of heavy. You know, there's still a Battle Rage sitting in the hand. There wasn't really a great turn, but you could have just cycled for 1, gotten deeper in the deck. But
This is
You know?
actually pretty good, though. You know.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
wow.
That makes it a lot better.
all right. Can I tempt you both into tanking that twice with your face?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yes.
is that
Well,
lethal?
because only
No, it's one
because he
off.
can also play the. He actually hold on. No, he wouldn't actually need to tank it twice. He could tank it once
He
because
could
of the
tank it
eye,
once in I-beam.
Take it once an I-beam.
right? Because he could do
But
Warglaives into
Well, but at
the
that
Battle
point,
Fiend.
he would have to sacrifice his Og Merchant.
yes, you do have to sacrifice the Og Merchant. But
Yeah.
I am
Actually, wait.
very
Yeah,
much
no,
a
he'd
fan
have
of
to
setting
tank it.
them to 2 this turn.
Yes, no, but actually, wait, hold on. No, the problem is he'd have to sack off the 4/3. He doesn't have enough mana to make the I-beam cost 1.
Yes,
And
He
yeah.
does. Well, not if he hero powers.
Not
I
if
was
you
thinking
hero
he
power.
doesn't hero power.
oh no!
I don't really want to see the second slice. I just want to tank that twice, finish the game. Okay.
That was a nice rhyme for the record. Oh, this is gonna be rough.
I think okay. So here's the other
If
play.
Saki
Let's
top
say
decks in a rage, he wins.
you hadn't. Okay, if you hadn't hero powered, you only push an extra 1 damage face effectively with it. You could have I-beamed off the 1/1, got back up to 15, been out of range of the Gramash
Right.
in range. Actually, no, that's a lie because of the weapon. I lied.
You're
Stop.
not out
Well,
of
no,
range of
no.
the
The problem is he could have put himself out of range of Grommash by simply not playing the hero power too, and he could have I-beamed.
No, but with the weapon, you're still at 15.
Yeah.
So
Not
it's
if-
still lethal
No,
to
no, no,
the.
no, no. But, well, true, but then he probably could have just traded the 4/3 and would have still been a fine situation.
Yeah, maybe it was super greedy to not trade in the 4/3. You have Metamorphosis to back this up, so
You've got more than
maybe
enough
this
damage,
doesn't
so I
make sense
agree.
to live.
I get what he's going for because it's like, okay, now I'm putting him to 1. He has 1 turn to actually act. But I mean, who knows what kind of burst they have in hand when you see how many cards Shinsui has.
Right.
Yeah.
I think at this point, the match is pretty much closed, and
Yep.
we can see what's
Oh.
happening here. Yep.
Saku
Shinsui
takes it,
sees it.
ties it up.
We see the Demon Hunter winning against the Warrior, which is unexpected. It's a very favored match for the Warrior. Well, to be fair, this was a very weird list by Shinsui.
I think, honestly, I've been of the impression that even though Warrior is absolutely favored in that matchup, I don't think it's as one-sided as people would have you believe.
I wouldn't go as
Because
far
if
as saying
like
it's
Demon Hunter
one-sided.
plays its cards right, they've got enough damage and draw power to really sustain through the mid game.
Right. What do you think we're going to see Shinsui Q here based? Shinsui against the Demon Hunter, he doesn't really have something that targets it very well with his decks.
No, I mean, maybe you go Druid. The larger spell Druid, the Dragon Druid, has a little bit more game against the Demon Hunter than the traditional tokenless spell
Right.
Druid, because once you make that 5/13 taunt, Demon Hunter gets a little upset.
Yeah.
So I think that's
Unless
likely
they have
to be
Kane.
the queue. Yeah, they have Kane. They get around it with all their attacks. But if they're not killing you that turn, you're still in a pretty solid spot. Or setting up the Metamorphosis kill. So I think that's definitely the best queue into this, unless
Right.
maybe you did bring a Face Hunter,
Right.
or just going for the mirror.
We are going to see the mirror here. So, JR, as someone who's been playing for a while, how do you feel about the styles of each of them? Are they more aggro players? Are they more controlled? Do you have any insights like that?
So I've always kind of wondered, like, can you determine what a player is going to bring based upon like their play styles or decks they seem to gravitate towards? And I don't really think there's an easy way of figuring that out, simply for the fact that even if you prefer certain decks, you know, some decks may still like even if you prefer certain styles of deck, a deck that doesn't necessarily fit that style may still very well appeal to you for one reason or another. And plus,
Sure.
because of the way metas often are, defined and how they tend to be, how you tend to see a bunch of different cards, bunch of different decks, but only like a few different decks per class. I don't think that type of information can give you much to work with. So in this case, I feel like I do think Shunsui has been a player, from what I understand, who's played a bunch of different decks. As with Saku, but like if you were to ask me like what do they prefer, I feel like that's just a very loaded question at this point.
Sure. I think something to note. I just want to note the small misplay of not getting the heal on Saku's part. He could have been at full health here, or at least at most health. So
Right.
this is a match where really, really, really every single health point matters, because you're likely going to. It's a kill or be killed fast, and you really want 1 health if you can get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
So I also want to point out Shinsui decided to keep a full hand with the double satyr on coin, and didn't save the coin to activate it, which I think you probably do if you do this. But I'm really excited to see this early altruist just clear the board, protected by this 2/5 growing taunt.
Right. That would be really interesting. You can do a lot with an early altruist.
Yeah, like, you win the Demon Hunter mirror by like getting the board early and sticking that damage, and then being the one whose damage off the top finishes this.
Yep.
And like, there's only an I beam to deal with an altruist at this point, and you've already seen one, or you've had one, but you did see a full keep, so maybe you're a little cautious about that. And I believe that the satyr that's on the far left was in the far left on the mulligan. So I'm really curious to see if Saku is willing to commit this altruist right here.
I really like that line. I'm going to say it's not the line I would have done myself, but I actually really like it. I think it's the kind of line that wins games and shows that you're thinking in a different way. So I kind of, thinking about this line, I would have done it, but my typical line would be just dropping the cane here.
Agreed.
It's an easy trade. It's kind of a very standard line. It doesn't win any games, but it doesn't lose you anything. I do agree with you. The altruist was way better now that I think about it.
Yeah, like their best answer is cane.
So so here's the thing. I think there are circumstances where altruist is 100% the better play there, but I don't think it's the optimal play here for 2 reasons. One, he can now play cane, have it survive, and even though it only has 1 health, it's still not something that, as you can see, Shunsui can easily deal with, because he's got that big 2/5 taunt he has to deal with. And the second reason being that, as much as I love the idea of playing altruist there for the sake of, knowing that Shunsui doesn't have an answer, there's a part of me that just thinks I want to wait until if I were Shunsui, if I were Saku, I'd want to wait to play it until I could clear like that satyr board, even knowing that satyr's not very ideal right now due to the presence of Bone Chewer Brawler.
Sure. Yeah, I just think that, like, this cane sticking, maybe a satyr comes down, but they spent their turn either clearing your altruist, like at all costs, and now, or you have an altruist that deals with any board they try and stick ever.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't get why there wasn't an altruist played there.
Yeah, I really like the altruist there again. Like,
I was gonna say that was definitely an altruist play there.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
but this is not bad. I think Saku is probably thinking about more of, I want to have a bigger impact with my altruist, but I feel like that's just like it's not going to get much better than that.
Yeah.
At this point.
I think I still really liked it last turn, because you could also do some crazy things with the sideward or with the spectral side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if that altruist stuck, the game was over.
Yes. There's no way you can come back from there.
Yeah.
This is going to be rough for Shunsui.
This is a lot.
He has to hit the Bone Chewer twice, and he's taking 6 damage for his troubles.
Yeah. At the
Mhm.
same time, Saku's hand looks empty. And in this matchup, that's how you lose.
I,
Well,
it's empty other than the altruist that we've been, and
Yeah.
that's,
or he
you
could just
know,
play the stager for now. It's really, uh,
Oh.
or he
or
can develop the glaive bound, which I also think looks pretty
yeah,
solid right
so
about now.
Yeah, this is good.
pushes 7 here. There's at least 5 in hand.
Mm-hmm. It's getting really close. That I-beam is quite the pickup. The I-beam means Shansui has not lost yet.
But it's still grim because he doesn't have a way of clearing it without striking it with the weapon.
I think you probably oh man, I want to chaos draw. I think see what I pick up, but then I beams down. Yeah, I think that you
Yeah.
kind of were forced into I beaming the 1/2.
Mm-hmm.
You have to.
Yeah, you have to I
Oh
beam the
no, we
1/2.
can't because it's now it doesn't cost 1
Yeah.
anymore.
Yep.
Oh, order, no.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate, and we can see here that this is going to end the match. We see Saku winning.
I don't think it would have really changed anything, honestly, just because of Altruist plus Twin Slice.
Yeah.
That would have been 4
Yeah.
additional damage right there, but not what you want to see regardless.
No, and it's going to be the Druid. So, the question is, can Malfurion beat his brother?
Yeah. Base, what do you think about that?
Like I said, we don't have to see the brothers fight.
Oh,
We see
the other Druid.
the
Oh,
one of
what a
the
ripoff.
second best heroes. It's not Elise, but it's still good.
Yeah.
I I think seeing that swipe in Shinsuke's hand, it's definitely the big dragons, and so I kind of talked about how that it's got a better shot,
Yeah.
but
I do not agree with throwing back the crystal power there. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
Draw one for troubles anyway.
Yeah, and I don't agree with keeping Altruist or Bone Chewer here. I think you want 1-drops. I think you want to
Right.
snowball early. I think you have to put them on the back foot. You have to not let them freely ramp.
Yeah. I think
Absolutely not.
Altruist is a consideration just because it deals with Glowfly, and Glowfly can just win the game.
That is true. I definitely think that's worth
I would like to
considering.
think that's what Saku was thinking, because I think he knows that that's the strategy that's going to be the hardest for him to deal with, like any kind of big board. And he knows Altruist, even if it can't clear something immediately, he's going to want that. Like one way or another, Altruist is going to be very helpful in this matchup.
Yeah. I think it's a little optimistic though.
Yes.
Interesting. He is.
It's an interesting freeze choice. I really
I
don't
don't-
like it, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I honestly I wouldn't have minded if he had a good follow-up play for the 3-2. But the problem is he doesn't. So now he's basically hoping he draws something. Like sure, he can play the Bone Chewer Brawler, but I feel like if you're going to freeze it, you might as well have some kind of follow-up to actually clear it as opposed to putting something in its way.
Yes. Yeah. I think with the coin, it has to be that high impact play. And you have those high impact plays. You have the Satyr attack on 3. You have the Glaive Bound Adept.
Right.
I feel like that it should have just been let the Bone Chewer Brawler trade.
Right.
But now you're just
the upside for Saku though is that he does at least have the Shunsui will only be playing the Overgrowth next turn. So that could work to his advantage. He's not developing much more.
I think you hate to see that.
Yeah, I think you actually don't want to see that, because if you see it,
No. But
you're
I mean,
losing next turn. You know
Sorry,
that he's going to follow somehow.
No, that's not actually the point I was going to make. I lost my train of thought. No, I was actually going to say, even though he's going to play the Overgrowth, Shunsui doesn't have a ton he is going to want to do just yet with the Mount Seller. Like he does have the Moonfire, obviously, but I think he's probably going to more likely Overgrowth.
Yeah, the
Overflow. I'm all over the
First
place
slide.
today. My apologies, gentlemen, gentlemen and miss.
Yes.
I think the swipe is good here. Just an easy clear.
Yeah, I think it's too threatening. And you have the Mount Seller to follow this up. Hopefully you draw one of your reduced for being OP already.
Yes.
I do.
Oh. I really dislike this one.
That was a snap, Umberwing. I think you want to play that middle Warglaves.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that one's fine. It's a good play. It deals more face damage. It sets up for wide boards. This was just a mistake for me.
Yeah, I don't. I kind of like this better. I kind of want to hopefully taunt up Mukla.
That would have been better. Yeah.
To make sure it's even harder to kill the Mount Seller, just because it's a more valuable target. It's more health, but you're not at risk of dying. So I'd rather taunt up something big. I'd even like be super happy to taunt up the Porcupine.
Yeah, I kind of would taunt up the Porcupine as well. I think you heal first, then you give the Porcupine taunt, because those are so many missiles that the Demon Hunter does not want to take.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
It also
because I think in some matchups it's more beneficial to taunt up the Mount Seller, but I do realize it would be very hard for them to clear up a big taunt like the Porcupine and then follow that up with killing the Mount Seller too. So you're definitely right about that.
Yeah, I think that you are kind of forced into killing this Mount Seller with the Warglaves here.
Yeah. And I think you're just... Oh, go ahead.
If you develop the Warglaves last turn, you can now also fire off a Glaive Bound.
Yeah. That's exactly...
I think that's one of the main advantages of Warglaves. You can play it, deal some damage, and you know it gives you some follow-up the following turn. I'm not sure what Saku was worried about in that particular situation.
Now he has to waste his Twin Slice, which is so ugly here. You really don't want to do this when you have an Altruist in hand.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if y'all remember Fool's Bane, I wonder if Fool's Bane would have been as OP as this, or if Warrior would have just had this insane board control tool.
I think the hero power makes a difference.
Yeah, also, the hero power is huge, and having the Twin Slice and the Chaos Strikes available.
Yeah. I don't think Warglaves is as OP just by itself without the hero power, especially without the hero power.
Correct.
Yeah. I love just slamming this Ysera here.
Yeah.
Oh, no hesitation there.
Follow this up with an Overflow.
It combos with the Overflow. You've got, you're at a pretty safe life total right now. Like, Saku does have a lot of damage in hand, but it's only going to go so far, and he's not going to be able to do much about this board. The Altruist is kind of nice, but, realistically, he can only play the Twin Slice, and that's not going to get him very far.
Yeah. This does not look like a winning position at all from Saku for me. I think this kind of ends this match.
I think we go to game 5, right? After this?
It'll be game 5 if Saku loses. Yeah. That is correct.
And that's the Hunter versus the... Okay.
So we are going to see game 5.
I think we could have creatively ended ourselves here. A combination of swinging into the Ysera a couple times and then Metamorphosis our own face. But, technically we're still alive.
Yeah.
But
technically,
not really.
Technically, until there's a hero power.
Yeah. In before overflowing first.
No.
No, he does realize it.
No. He's not going to do that.
We do see.
But we are now going into game 5, everybody.
Yup, we are. So it's going to be the Demon Hunter, the Druid for Shinsui versus the Hunter for Saku. So I think the first question I want to ask is, what is this Hunter in Saku's list? Is it Highlander? Is it Dragon?
For Saku's sake, I hope it is Highlander.
Yeah. It does begin. We're still not sure. Could be both.
Nope, this is definitely Highlander.
Why do you throw away Scavenger's Ingenuity?
I think that's actually a very fair question.
I can't think of a good reason to throw it away.
I think actually, yeah, I don't know why either. I'm assuming from Saku's perspective, he's thinking, it's a good card, but it doesn't really. It's like the stuff that it gets you doesn't necessarily do much in the early game. So maybe he'd rather have something that allows him to develop more early momentum.
I think summoning a beast with +2/+2 is really good. If you can get a 6/4, that 4/6 is so insane.
Greetings. I trust you will not waste my time.
But that is a bit of a. I mean, I think he should have kept the Zixor. Excuse me.
I still don't know if it's Highlander or not.
No.
Technically.
Technically, but I
pretty sure,
can't
though.
see this being Dragon, even with everything we've seen.
I think that like this, all these cards,
How about
maybe minus Phase Stalker, go into a dragon list for sure. But I think if y'all remember the OG Dragon Hunter list that people had made, where it had the double Scavenger's Ingenuity and just Zixor, so you can tutor Zixor and then tutor Zixor again.
Yep. Really like that list.
It is a solid combo. It's a bit iffy because the problem with that is a lot of lists are playing rush cards that don't necessarily guarantee you to get the Zixor Prime off of the Griffin.
Well, no, so
relying...
it's a Dragon Hunter. You know what I mean? So like the only beast you play is Zixor.
Right.
Yeah. So if you don't get
Like
Zixor, you get
right.
Zixor Prime.
Yeah.
Well, you can play Phase Stalker. Some people do.
Yeah, some people do. I like it just as having those as like I can tutor out this massive mid-game threat, or I tutor out this game finisher when my deck is just just damage. I don't really play for board until I have this.
So I want to ask now, out of curiosity, do you guys think that this was the right play for Shunsui to coin out the Overgrow as opposed to playing the Fungal Fortunes and saving the coin for a later point, knowing what his follow-up is going to be?
Yeah, I think just Overgrowth or just Wild Growth was good there, right?
Yeah, that was fine.
Absolutely.
It is Dragon. Look, that's a
Dragon.
double explosive trap. I really kind of like that as a tech to fight against both
Dragon.
Demon Hunter and Druid. I guess I can spoil this. I played Zabe last week, and I put in Phase Stalker and Explosive Trap into my Highlander Hunter. That was it. That was my entire trap package, because I knew that I'd be seeing Demon Hunter and Druid.
I think Donde talked about it once, where he did something like that. Didn't work very well, but I remember him telling me about that in Hearthstone. Maybe he can message chat about that 10 minutes from now once we're a bit further ahead, but he can listen to the story.
Yeah. I kind of just want to develop the 5/5.
Yeah.
I mean, the 4/6 also pretty impactful.
Yeah, I actually prefer this just because hypothetically, I think Saku's probably thinking, well, what if he plays like a Mount Seller, and I want to have like the option to clear it with the Rot Nest.
Yeah,
so.
I agree. My worry is like you're almost for sure taking at least a 50-50 or less. You know, like I don't think that they play a naked Mount Seller.
Well, I mean, obviously he does happen to have the Iron Bark, but you're not necessarily certain, he's going to play a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but you kind of expect him to, I would say.
Yeah, well, I will also say, I think the other reason it's a good play here is because look at everything that Shunsui is putting in to clear off this 4/6.
Yeah. Well, he's setting up for the...
So now his dragons are going to be...
Yeah, he's trying to set up an overflow.
He is, for sure, but my point is now that gives Saku more time to develop something like the big ol' whelp and, really give himself a shot here.
It only costs the additional Moonfire. Why wouldn't you set off the potential explosive trap?
Yeah. I think you just want
to have nothing to fear from that.
It just becomes 2 mana, deal 2 damage, which is really bad, so... If you're expecting that secret, just pop it off.
Yeah,
There's the glowfly, but
nothing to really.
yeah, you
No.
only get three minions out of it. So
Yeah.
I think I
Do
think
you
the overflow.
ever wild growth first?
I think there's a chance, depending on other spells, that you'll do something else. So I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Myself.
Yeah.
I mean, next turn is going to be a big mount seller turn, but
Yeah.
hmm,
So
I guess
having that wild growth card, just the excess mana,
Yeah.
is really good with the Mount Saber at this point,
Yep.
or the Mount Seller.
this is going to be rough for Saku. Oh, but he's got the Zixor
It's
Prime.
not. The Sixer Prime changes everything, because that's exactly what you want against the Druid.
That is literally what
Yeah.
he's going to want to play next turn.
Oh.
I think you just played the big old whelp here.
Yeah,
I-
just draw.
Yeah, it's a difference
Draw a
between
5/5 minion, put more pressure onto Shunsui. I think that seems pretty good.
Yeah,
Oh.
it looked like he was considering playing the Rottnest, which I guess if it's any smaller dragon is fair, but I think the one attack difference means nothing here.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's, at this point, if this was threatening lethal, I would consider that to be more interesting, but I don't see it necessarily threatening anything.
right.
Um,
And now the upside for Saku here is also that unless Shunsui gets a taunt off of the Mount Seller, he's only going to have one taunt of defense. And as you said, he may want to taunt up the Mount Seller. He may want to taunt up something else. We'll have to see.
yeah, I like. I'm not sure. I think in this matchup,
Ooh,
that's huge.
That is huge.
that's pretty huge. That takes a lot of damage off the board.
I think you probably want to first maybe Power the Wild, see what else you get.
Well, I thought Power of the Wild would be the last spell you want to play.
I'm not sure how much you. Those are huge. Those are amazing pickups there.
Yeah.
He can still clear most of this, though, but it is going to be rough.
Sixer Prime is not looking that insane here, just because the life totals don't align well at all. They're
No, the
mostly
problem,
very
the
awkward.
problem is, so he can actually clear 3 of the 4 minions out of this, but he's still going to only have one Zixor Prime minion with 1 health left, and he has to sack off the sharpshooter if he wants to make that happen.
I mean, you need to kill the Mount Seller. You cannot.
You absolutely you absolutely need to. But unfortunately, Shunsui does have the Ysera followed up by the Overflow. That's like bring out some more dragons. So a lot of the pressure is going to be gone for now. But Saku's going to need some kind of miracle, I think, in order to really bounce back.
So, Baze, what do you think about the fact that he hit the weapon into the 3/2 when he has an explosive on the field?
I don't like that. Maybe you consider setting up the explosive killing the Dread Raven, but I just like pushing face there. I think you never win this board back. So it's time to try and piece together the damage that kills Shinsui.
I agree.
Right now they'd be at 11. Okay.
Do you play Unleash? I know some lists do play an Unleash just for this kind of matchup.
Yeah.
I think they generally play at least 1 copy.
This is not looking great for the Dragon Hunter.
No, and I'm guessing there's 1 Phase Stalker left, so that Scavenger's Ingenuity is essentially a 4-mana 4/5. It's a Yeti, unless there's more traps.
Right.
Right.
It does remove a card you don't want to have in your deck.
Yes, yeah, I think that getting out of the deck is pretty important.
Yeah.
I almost feel like you have to develop the Rottnest streak there.
I think you do. I think you need the weapon attacks if you're going
Yeah.
for the lethal at some point.
Yeah, I think you just spend the mana on the Scavenger's Ingenuity if you have the other Face Stalker. Yeah.
Yeah.
He does. The sad thing is, if he had been able to get that, get the Zixor Prime off of that and play that on 8, I think the circumstances would have been very different right now.
Oh yes, yeah. The draw earlier allowed him to answer the Mount Seller turn, but possibly at the cost of having a shot at winning the game.
Interesting. Do you think it was a mistake that he didn't just overflow even with the Ysera option, for the follow-up?
No, I think that you want to Ysera first.
Oh, right, because he's choosing not to attack, so this actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
I think that was very solid, very heads-up play to not attack. Because you have the overflow, you can heal out of range of the explosive trap, killing your stuff, or just kill their stuff this turn.
Also, there's the point that specifically the Dragon Hunter versus the Highlander, the Dragon Hunter doesn't have that much reach anymore. You don't play Leroy, you don't do too much that isn't board based. And we can see what's happening here.
Okay, that's a swipe in hand.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think this wins.
I think that's game. Yeah.
You don't win the game on this turn, but that swipe clears the board.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this is.
As if I didn't already feel for Saku enough from some of the matches I've seen from him. He's had some tough losses, but you know what? He kept it together as long as he could.
Yeah. And I think this kind of closes the match. We're going to see if there's a special desperation moment, safety by Saku, but I don't think there is.
No.
I think this gives Shinsui the win.
Well, I
think.
Even without that, he definitely had it.
Yeah.
Well played.
Shinsui takes it 3-2.
Shinsui does take the match. Quite the match here. I'm going to message Shinsui for a quick interview. Meanwhile, I just want to thank Base for joining us. She is going to step out for her match, which will be the second match we're streaming. So, thank you, Base. Any messages or any warm-up words about your match with Hockey?
No, I think it's going to be exciting. Hockey's a great opponent, well established in the scene, so it's going to be very fun. I will be shocked if it doesn't also go to Game 5. Big shout out to Shinsui for taking that. I hope that Saku survives the Shadow Realm. That's all I have to say. But anyways, it's been a ton of fun, and I will see y'all in a bit.
Looking forward to it. Well, that was definitely an exciting match until the very end. What do you think, Lotus?
I think so. Honestly, this last game was the only game that I didn't feel was tighter, a lot happening. I do think there were a few mistakes. I think the first big thing I want to point is Shinsui, he wasn't playing Battle Rage when he could have done it way earlier. And I think that punished him. And there were a few other moments that I think he could have been overall, he could have acted better. And I think the same for Saku. Saku made a few mistakes of not trading enough and sometimes going face at points where you really had no reason to do it. Also, weird curve decisions, which is something that can be really hard, especially for lower seeds. But I think this was a good match, and I'm inviting Shinsui here right now.
All right, then.
Yellow.
Hey.
Shinsui, you can hear us?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can hear you now.
Welcome back to the winner's interview, Mr. I've won on Schoolstone 2 of the last 3 times we've done this, I think. Something like that. First Herd was your victim, and now Saku. How does it feel?
It feels good, man. Shout out to both of those guys. If you make a mistake, they will punish you. Like I had to stay on my toes, made a couple mistakes, but I got a little lucky. Heart of the cards, man. I got to give it to Heart of the Cards.
Well,
Yeah.
we want to ask you about that because there was one kind of theme we noticed from both of your Warrior games that we really wanted to ask you about: Battle Rage.
Yeah.
We noticed how like you were playing that very conservatively. There were at least two moments, I would say, I think in the first game, where you could have drawn at least 3 cards off Battle Rage, and you chose to hold on to it and try to develop the board a little bit more instead. Did you have a specific reasoning behind?
Yeah, I think that I think the only that went bad if he plays an altruist or whatever the guy's name is and plays like
Mm-hmm.
some cheap cards. So I wanted to get some more on board, but I still like missed the swing. I was supposed to swing with my ones. Like I played something and like lost like 3 creatures. I could have swung with the bomb or swung with a creature first, but I wanted to hold the battle race because usually I play it too quick and I only draw like 1 or 2 cards, and then I have a board with like 4 creatures, and I could have drawn 5. So I
Mm-hmm.
did. I think I did hold on to it too long, but I really wanted some more guys on board. The two, what are they, 5/8s or 2 5/7s? I feel like
Mm-hmm.
getting them down was more important than drawing the card, even though he like gave him 1 health and killed him. But I
No, I
wanted to get some
understand.
more.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just very interesting because the thing with Battle Rage is that it's a card. You do often want to think about like developing your board when you get the chance, but you also know if something goes wrong, you won't have a lot of value to get off of it if suddenly your board's been cleared.
Hmm.
So it's a very it can be a little challenging to find the right time. I have another question, but Lotus, you have a question you want to ask first?
I think something I want to ask you, Shansui, is what's your current feeling about the meta slash what were you expecting? I think something for me that surprised about this matchup was the Paladin presence. What did you think when you saw that Paladin? Were you expecting Murloc? Were you expecting just Libram? How did you feel about this?
I've seen some Libram decks on ladder, but I was
Mm-hmm.
definitely expecting Murloc Pally. That's why I took out Wrath and Soul of the Forest for 2 swipes just to try to get a little more like damage in like that for like
Sure.
because like usually they play the 1 drop that gives you it's a 2/1 and brings up 2 Murloc. Or I might
Yep.
have to kill a war leader. You know what I mean? So like taking out Wrath might have been bad, but I think the double swipe really brought me home. And I was really expecting Murloc Pally. The Librams, when he made the 10/10, I was like, well, shit, that changes math. But I got a little lucky.
Yeah, it was funny about that because I didn't realize at first that I really thought he had nothing to fear with that taunt. And the funny thing is, we were talking about how your list was a bit different. You got there because of the Kargath.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was what ultimately decided it because you were able to. Because the big thing was that big taunt still had a lot of health, and I didn't really think there was anything to fear from like not clearing the risky skipper. But it turned out between that and the Kargath, it was just enough.
yeah. The Kargoth is supposed to be the 110 that just attacks somebody till it dies, but I just split it between the two. I felt like if I do get to 8 mana, I have to like gain some armor if Armor Smith doesn't show up, or like have an armor the big guy gives you. I think it's 10 if he kills somebody. Like the math was just there with the playing a
Hmm.
creature, having the skipper go off and the rampage on him. Like it worked out nicely. I was proud of myself.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, I'm glad you were able to pull it off in some difficult matchups. For me, I will just say the biggest surprise was for sure the Druid and just how much it came through for you.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot with Druid. I'm trying to like me and Pawn was up all last night, and I was tinkering with the Druid deck because like he swept me with Demon Hunter like 4 times, and then like I lost to his Murloc Pally like 8 times. So I was like, all right, so I
Oof.
need to put in the swipes. Like yeah, like the Murloc Pally matchup just wasn't going well for me. I was gonna like do an audible at the last minute, try to ban the Pally, but I what I did ended up working out. Like I really missed the play when I could have put the 2 damage on the egg and rampage the egg and swing into the 4/3 on that Demon Hunter matchup. and that would have made things a whole lot different. And then I messed up the next game too when I didn't play the I beam, and like it was, I don't know. I had to buckle down to refocus. Saku's my man though. Like he's I ended his win streak. He's won like the last 2 or 3 against me. So one soul sent to the shadows.
Yeah.
Saku is not one to be underestimated. You definitely took this match very seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, that PR he has is a facade. Don't let it fool you.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, I've let it fool me before. Don't worry.
Well, I think this is a good time for us to start preparing for a second match. I'll take one more time to congratulate Shansui, and thank you for coming for the interview. Thank you for playing on stream. As a reminder for everyone, if you ever feel like playing on stream, if you want to be on Schoolstone, we have flexible times on Saturday and Sunday. You can always DM me, DM JR, DM Base, and I'm sure one of us will find a schedule for you, and we'll figure something out. If you want to be in one of the other shares, you can always message Saku himself, or you can message Donde, who's always happy to hear that someone wants to be on stream, and we'll see what times they're available and how things go. That being said, we have a really exciting match for us coming up, and we're going to have basedinc versus Hockey Boys. So I'm going to start by asking you, JR, can you give me a little bit of history of these two players?
Gladly. So, based as we all know, she's pretty new to THL. She has been playing for about 2-3 seasons now. I don't recall who got her into THL, but I remember seeing her. I remember first like recognizing her and seeing her prominence last season, and I know like she's more than proven herself in multiple series. She did a solid job in Pro, a solid job in Legacy, I believe it was. But don't quote me on that. But I'm looking forward to getting to know Base more through Schoolstone, just because coming into this, I didn't know as much about her as I would have liked. Hockey Boys, on the other hand, is somebody I am very much acquainted with. He was here. He's been here longer than I have. He was, I played him the very first season I was in THL. He was playing for, I believe it was Defias Brotherhood at the time. And he's one of those players who started off with a pretty decent PR. Like, we were both 3 seats when we played each other. And he had, like, I want to say, like, high 300s, close to 400 PR. So it's very fascinating to see him now in this, like, 1 seed territory with the max PR and like just showing how far he's come, which like it's kind of easy. I know I was saying this to you in a chat previously, but it's very interesting knowing how many people, like including yourself, Avi, who started off THL with like less than 400 PR and really shot that up by such a large amount through their success.
I got to 330 at some point, and I remember complaining to Osmonaut, and I just came to him like, I'm thinking about quitting because I can never win. And he's like, you're way better than your PR says. You're going to win. And from there, I won 5 matches in a row, and then just started. My PR skyrocketed from that point. So it's actually a really interesting effect to see.
Yeah, and like I said, I think it's good that it's not something that's like it's not like super common, but it's something where you could refer to a bunch of different players and be like, yeah, if they can do this, I can. And it kind of gives you some perspective that not everybody was just like an amazing player from the start. They worked their way up to it, and so that's clearly possible if you really go for it and you really find a lot of momentum in TH.
That is true. We do have the bans in, so I just want to show you guys what they have banned. So we know that Base banned Hockey's Hunter. Or sorry, the other way around. Hockey
Demon
banned
Hunter.
Base Hunter, and Base banned Hockey's Demon Hunter. So we have the classes remaining are Demon Hunter, Warlock, and Warrior versus Druid, Paladin, and Warlock.
I didn't want to say anything before while Base was in, but I'll be honest, I was expecting the Hunter ban from Hockey. Hunter definitely matches up well against both the Paladin and the Warlock. And even though we obviously saw Hunter doesn't have like a super strong matchup against Druid, it's definitely, if they get enough of like a solid curve in the beginning, it could definitely be a problem for them.
Oh, yeah. And I think I think that happens a lot. It's Highlander Hunter is a deck that has a very nice matchup spread. It's never terrible. You
No.
don't have a matchup where you start and you're like, yep, I'm just going to play my Freeze Mage versus Control Warrior and I'm going to lose in the end, because that's what happens. Freeze Mage loses 90-something% of the matches. But nowadays, that's not the case for Highlander Hunter for anything.
No.
No, but we do have something really interesting, which is the Warlock. The Warlock kind of skyrocketed in Legend last week and is continuing to just grow its presence really fast with Quest Warlock. I wonder if these are Quest Warlocks that we're
Yeah.
going to see.
I can't see it being anything else, because the way I'm seeing it, like, Zoo is so underpowered right, and I don't think there's any situation where Quest Warlock is going to be so badly matched up that that Zoo is going to be a better alternative. I think ultimately, Quest Warlock, it's just going to be about, hey.
Hello? I think JR went mute for a second. 1 second, I'm seeing what Discord did here.
I think also with regards to, I think for both of them though, it's not necessarily going to be so hard to get a win with the Warlock, because I think in the case of Based, for instance, Warlock is going to be definitely winnable against the Paladin and the Demon Hunter.
Sure.
And for Hockey, I think the Warlock can definitely get that win against Hunter, Demon Hunter, or even in the mirror. Actually, like, who knows? It's
Yes.
I just think for each of them, they're going to have potential struggles. Depending on like how they draw. I mean, we'll have to see. I honestly haven't played that much. I haven't really played any Quest Warlock so far. I've watched a fair bit of it, but I'm intrigued to see how it fares from watching more like people from THL play it, as opposed to simply watching a lot of Grandmasters play it.
Sure. I think something that to me is really interesting is going to be the Quest Warlock versus Bomb Warrior, because I'm sure that's happening, and that's not good. That matchup is miserable for the
That's probably
Quest
Quest Warlock's worst matchup, I would say.
It's a below 80%,
Yeah.
or an above 80% for the Warrior. That's not good. We did see on stream, and I really recommend watching last weekend's match, Inzi versus Icicles, because we saw the Warlock win, but he also got turned 7-0 on that Mally.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I heard about that.
Yeah, I was watching. I was rooting for Inzi, always rooting for my albatrosses, and
Of course.
yeah. That being said, I think we're ready to start this one. I am going to cue into Hockey first.
I think either way, we're in for some very interesting games.
Yes. And they begin.
Hockey's lineup also just fascinates me because he did not bring Warrior or Hunter, and he brought both Druid and Paladin.
Yeah, I wonder if he's targeting something. It certainly looks like a target. I would say this is a Warlock one.
Maybe. So we got Based with the Demon Hunter, Hockey with the Warlock, and it is indeed Quest Warlock.
Yeah.
So my understanding, though, with the Quest Warlock Demon Hunter matchup is that, generally speaking, Demon Hunter is just looking to go super aggressive early on, and Warlock is looking to both draw their heal and ultimately kind of get out a big taunt through the Abyssal Summoner, because they know that they don't really have like a good answer for that.
Yeah, they also really, really, really want a way to clear the board early. So, for example, a Moarg Rain of Fire is an amazing way to just early on say all your 2 health minions are dead. Dark Skies
Right.
is still one of the most OP cards in Warlock. It's kind of surprising to me that that's an okay card. It clears way too much, way too early, way too often.
I think it's a problematic card as far as design goes, and I really don't like saying that, but it's just, to me, that's just accurate.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a card that really it's more trouble than it should be for the other player to play around it, and just way too often it's deal 8 damage on turn 3.
On turn like 3, exactly. I think the problem is a card like that doesn't necessarily have I don't necessarily take issue with it existing, but I don't think it makes much sense to give it to a class like Warlock.
I think the fact that Warlocks can tap really makes this more dangerous than it seems.
Okay, that's actually not a bad draw. Hockey's
No.
does bring himself up to 29, but he's in a very rough spot, not really having much early game, and I know he's not going to want to waste both Rain of Fires just to clear a couple small minions.
Yeah. At the same time, this is still really early, and I think it's all going to be about can he keep healing, keep clearing the board, and for how long. The fact that he has the dragon, he might just be fine saying, I'm going to waste 2 Rain Fires without the Moarg and just see what happens from here. I can play the dragon if I need it.
I think it's just gonna be a question of how many turns is he willing to wait for that, because
Yes.
the problem here is, on one hand, next turn he could play the Netherwing and clear off the board, but then the problem is he's taking 7 or 8 damage next turn, and then he is taking 3 more damage to himself, and he doesn't have any life gain right now.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of an issue. This is actually not bad, though. He does allow himself to hold on to with a second Rain of Fire and clear off the Battle Fiend. So
Right.
I do think that's good, but I think he's probably going to end up playing Netherwing next turn if he does play the Satyr, but I think Based she's thinking about that being a problem, so she's going to play the Scoundrel instead.
Yeah, I wonder what Base takes here. I kind of like the idea of Mystery Choice, because Blur certainly not. Coordinated Strike is quite weak against Warlock, and Soul Cleave could be okay, but I think getting that chance at a Twin Slice or a Skull or something that can help a lot.
Oh,
I mean, it's fine.
Yeah. Personally, if I didn't go for the Mystery Choice, I probably would have actually taken the Soul Cleave, because I think the problem you're going to notice here is that this deck doesn't need to rely on life gain, but I think if you're going to take some kind of card that's based on removal, you take the one that's going to allow you to maybe keep your life total up a little bit, knowing that this deck can have a lot of bursts if the game drags on long enough.
Right. We do see a freeze coming down.
Looks that way, yep.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't think this is a huge surprise given the moment of the game.
No. It's definitely it definitely makes sense. It just makes Based's hand a little awkward, since
Right.
she's probably going to want to play the 8 up next turn, but then it's going to take another turn or two before that skull becomes live.
Yeah.
That being said,
we could also
she's got 2 options.
Yeah,
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I think the main thought I see here is the Twin Slice, Hero Power, clear that, and then go for the big body 6/4 play, because it is annoying for the Warlock to remove, and playing Soulfire does not feel great here. At the same time, we know there's a 6 mana 3/3 Vile Spine, basically, that will kill it. And that's a pretty good play.
That's true. Yeah. No, I actually really like that play, because I don't think it's going to be super helpful to play the Satyr here. You can clear it, but obviously, I think Base is probably going to look at this from the more aggressive standpoint, and she's going to want to... Oh, never mind.
Interesting choice.
I can understand that. Okay. No, I like this a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I got very confused for a second.
I think we are going to see the Kaladin just killing the 6/4.
I don't think you're going to get better use out of it, honestly.
No, certainly not. Kaladin is an interesting card. It can be so strong sometimes, and
Yes.
I've had matches where I was completely losing. There was nothing I could do, and then turn 6 or turn 5, I topped that Keladin, and that coin Keladin just says, "Yep, I'm back, and there's nothing you can do now. I just have the board."
It's gonna Soulfire. Okay, that was a little bit of a risky play because when you have the Malagos in hand and you know you can discard that, I know it's a bit iffy, but I do think that was worthwhile.
A lot of times
Hockey
this
now
matchup
has the stuff.
doesn't come down to Mali. It just comes down to early removal. So I don't think it's as
Sure.
big of an issue.
That's fair. And I mean, I do think you're actually right when I think about it now, because this is a deck where, you know, they are going to bring out a bunch of big minions, and Demon Hunter's not really going to have an answer to it. So you're not really looking to combo them to death when you put it like that.
No. I think this is an interesting choice, just setting everything up to do a crazy altruist turn next turn, and win from
Right.
there. That ooze is actually really major. That's the kind of card you really
That's
didn't want to see.
huge. That is actually incredible, because I'm pretty sure I don't think Based would have had lethal next turn, but it would have certainly been close.
Yeah. This does change things a lot, because that's not what Base wanted to see.
No. Base is going to be able to clear some of this off, though, but not a lot. The taunts are still going to be up. Or wait, sorry. No, one of them is going to be gone.
Yeah.
And then now Base can go face with the Cane, bring Hockey down to 9.
So Hockey
This
can't
is
really tap here. It's a little awkward.
No, this is actually very awkward, because now Hockey, I think, has to use both Dark Skies in order to clear the board.
Well, he could have traded first.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
It is. Does tap. That 10 Siemens, I think, is going to get him 2 Morgs? Yeah.
No, I think, yes, no, it's going to get both of them. Unfortunately, now this puts Based on clock for a 2-turn lethal.
Yeah. I think it's a really interesting choice not to play the Battle Fiend, so you can't get breathed out.
Right. So now forced to use it on his own minion.
Right.
Oof.
Zeph is not active. He needs to tap for something good. Okay.
Oh.
The Hockey special over there might actually
That
be...
actually does it. That actually does give him an out for now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. The crazy part is, that's exactly the sort of play that Hockey would do, and
Yes.
that's it. That's it. That is actually it, because Base cannot afford to take 2 hits off of this.
Well, it's not over yet.
Oh, you're right.
I'm trying to think of ways Base can still
wait it out.
One more turn, but yeah. The Rafam play, definitely not what you're expecting when you're playing against this deck.
No, I think this is a Sathvar turn, or no, it's gonna be a Brightwing into Siamat turn, which pretty much does the same thing. It does give you a big taunt.
Actually, there's one big issue. If he draws deal face damage guy, that changes the match result.
Can Base do the draw? No.
No, that's not lethal from Base. No matter what or anything.
That is what we call a miracle top deck from Hockey. But you know what? A win's a win, and Hockey starts it off 1-0.
Yeah, I think so. To be fair, I don't think Base lineup was targeting the Warlock really hard. The only issue is the Warrior really wanted to face this Warlock. Really wanted.
Yeah.
Unless Base went with Enrage, which I guess it's possible, but at High Legend, I'm not seeing Enrage nearly as much as I'm seeing Bomb.
It's very interesting to me. I think that's a separate discussion to have for another day, but it's very fascinating to me how much the Warrior went from being like everybody bringing Enrage to now it's like a mix of Enrage and Bomb.
Yeah.
And I think there's validity to both.
I think Bomb has a few matchups that the fact that you're putting cards in your deck really helps against Mage, which felt almost unbeatable beforehand, as long as you banned the Hunter.
Yes.
And I think it also hits Quest Warlock really hard, really fast, because those bombs are really easy to just Yep, Warlock's dead now. They just kill Warlock super consistently.
I think it's also, though, that what ended up happening was, in addition to some of the favored matchups, people finally started to figure out a Bomb Warrior list or a couple different lists that seemed to flow a little bit better compared to previous ones. Because I never liked the lists where you were just kind of playing the Wrench Calibers instead of the Livewire Lances, and the deck didn't really flow very well. And now I think people seem to be going a more control route, and that has been giving people more success from what I've heard.
Yeah. We do start our next match here with Demon Hunter against, but this time versus the Librams.
Except this is not a pure Paladin list, because we see the Wild Pyromancer that Hockey threw back.
Yep. So this is some kind of control Paladin, or
I'm
however
very
you want
curious
to call
to
it,
see if he's
Librams.
playing like the draw engine cards, like Loot Hoarder or Novice Engineer.
I cannot wait to read this.
I could see it with Sawhead's Pride just to get those two more. That is
Right.
a common package.
Yes. This is a bit rough for for Hockey, because he's got some decent cards, but he's going to need to draw a bit more immediate answers. Because at this rate, I could see a situation where Base just kills Hockey before he's able to really get that Libram of Hope out.
But that
Uses the
5 mana
to-do.
4/6 taunt, this single card here, although Truth Seeker, is really, really, really important.
Oh, yeah.
And it's there. It's going to discount all your Librams by 2, helping you with the matchup from this one on.
Wow. Now Hockey has a second Consecration if he wants to play that to clear the next board, depending on what Base decides to play. But it looks like she's just going to coin out the Warglaves.
Yeah. I think it's good. It's some face damage. Really helps in this matchup. As much face damage as you can get. We are going to see that scary Paladin curve with 5 mana 4/6 taunt, followed by 6 mana heal, summon a taunt, do everything in one. Basically, ultimate infestation for Paladin.
Yeah, the play here is very straightforward here, because Hockey knows if he plays that 4/6 now, he knows he can play the Libram of Hope next turn. So no question there. And he knows he doesn't need the extra health right now. He'll be fine.
Yeah, that's true.
Unfortunately, Base does have another Warglaves, but unfortunately for her, we're going to see that's not going to be super helpful in this situation.
Yeah, it's just a lot of healing. You can kill this guy. This is going to be interesting, because you can certainly kill the big minion that's going to be summoned.
Right. But I think this is a perfect play, because Base either face tanks a bunch of damage from the Divine Shield, or has trade in the 4/1. So this is really one of the best opportunities to play.
Yeah, I think something to note here is just the power that Conk or deal 2 damage cards have against Demon Hunter. It's just so good. That Conk is going to stop this huge board that would actually be almost unbeatable in many situations.
Right. It's a very tough spot. Base knows one way or another she has to take a bunch of face damage.
Yeah, the main question is, are you willing to take 16, or do you want to sacrifice the minion and take a bit less?
I think she kind of realizes, it's like a make or break situation.
Yeah, I think so. I don't hate this play.
No.
We are going to see the Aldor. Pretty good here.
No, this is pretty good. This also sets up for lethal next turn.
Yeah. Being said, we also see how much healing Hockey still has.
Yep. But I assume Hockey is going to develop the board and hold on to that Amber Watcher. Or not? No, actually, well, I guess he doesn't really have much to fear, knowing how few
Yeah.
cards Based has in it.
I think this is
Well,
fine.
that's actually works. Yeah.
As long as there's no skull draw. If there's a skull draw, it's scarier. No
And there's
skull
no
draw?
skull draw. I would have pointed fingers at you, Lotus, if she drew it for the record.
Oh, yeah. So would I, technically. But
That's fair.
we do see the end here with Hockey just
Yep.
going face with the dragon and the weapon.
Yep, that's going to be just 1 over lethal.
Yeah. The new Lethal lists are fairly favored against Demon Hunter just because you can heal by so much and you have a new good 1-drop.
Yeah, it's just about. It's funny also that Hockey had a somewhat awkward start, and oh my god, we were talking about this before.
We get to see that Blessed Champion. Not that it was needed. A bit of DM
It was
by
not
Hockey,
needed.
but
No, it was completely insignificant. But clearly, Hockey going for the style points and takes the 2-0 lead. But I was going to say, Hockey got an awkward start, and that still worked out pretty nicely for him.
Yeah, I think so. It's interesting to see how is he going to get his Druid out. So he only needs 1 game. The Druid is not favored against, I think, any of these decks, but the Quest Warlock. And
yeah, I think against Quest Warlock it is.
it's favored against Quest Warlock. I don't think it is against the rest. And that is exactly the first match we're seeing.
Wow.
And this is quite a start for the Dragon. I believe he's going with the Dragon list.
I would assume so from the Breath of Dreams, yes.
Yeah. That being said, base hand is
I'm
also
curious,
really good.
Lotus. Do you have any thoughts on which list you think is better, the version with like Breath of Dreams and several dragons, or the versions without?
So I have not played as much Druid as I should, especially taking into account the fact that I'm playing Dragon Druid in my match today in Pro. But let's ignore that fact for a second.
I won't.
I think both lists have their merits, and they just have a very different matchup spread for the Warrior matchup, where I think the Dragons really shine. And I think if you're going on ladder where the matchup really matters, yeah, you want to make sure you are going with the Dragons.
I think that's fair.
Other matches, you might want to bring the other lists. That is completely fair.
I guess from my perspective, I can understand wanting to play a bit more ramp through the Breath of Dreams and a bit more draw power. But at the same time, I feel like having all those big dragons is a little clunky, whereas you can kind of aim for a bit more of an earlier game with the Mount Seller lists, because, I mean, like we see with those lists how you can easily get the Mount Seller on before turn 7, and you can absolutely find yourself in a position where you have like a bunch of 0-cost spells and like just go crazy, and then suddenly your opponent doesn't really have a solid way of dealing with the board.
Right.
But back to what's actually happening in game, Hockey's dropping that Ysera Unleashed, and now it's going to be a question of will he get any of those portals quickly, and how is Base going to deal with the situation?
Yeah, we do see that Base is finishing the quest really fast. This
Very much
plot
so.
twist right here says that if you want to finish the quest next turn, you can. Just trade Dark Skies and the quest is done.
I wonder if...
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, Hockey's actually playing very smartly, playing this Ysera with the taunt, because it's not since this isn't a deck that plays Plague of Flames, it's not going to be something that that Base can easily deal with, and she knows that she might have to like stack off something like, say, the Soulfire or the the Nether Breath, which aren't bad here, obviously, since they do a lot, but it's not necessarily the ideal situation you're looking to use them in.
Right.
Oh my god. Well, Hockey got basically the perfect draw just now.
He did. That was really good. Strong play here.
Goodness. Oof. I think you just Okay, no, holding on to the Moonfire is interesting.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to do the math. If base plays Moark into Dark Skies and then Nether Breath, or like Nether Breath first, does that clear the board?
I wonder if...
Trying to do the math. I guess not, because she's opting to just play the Nether Breath first and not the Dark Skies, but...
I don't think I love this play. I actually want the Dark
No.
Skies. It's for so much damage with the Moarg.
Something tells me that she could have cleared off the... Well, first of all, I would have cleared off the Mount Seller before clearing off the Dragon Queen.
Yeah.
It's more damage, but I think you can still assume that Hockey has other spells he can play.
Yeah.
Not to mention the punish if he does, you know, like it's... There's a lot less to be punished by if she had, you know, if she had cleared it, you know, and just left out the 8/8. I don't think that's going to be a big problem.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure the Dark Skies plus Nether Breath would have cleared the board. I think. I might have to do the math again later, but that's what it looked like to me.
I kind of agree. We do see the Nether, which I think comes down this turn 100% of the time.
Yeah, the Twisting Nether.
Yeah.
100%.
You could go for the Zeph Freeze, but Zeph can do better stuff next turn.
No, this is, yeah. This is going to buy her some time.
Yeah.
Because Hockey does have the Overflow, but that's not necessarily going to do that much, depending on any portals that are hit and what dragons come out of it.
This is not a dragon you're looking for. The 4/1, and not that good.
No. I
You
mean, I
can
do
make
agree
it a
with taunting
big-
it up.
Yeah. It's a 5/4. Doesn't win you the game or help you at all. I wonder if this is the time. Ooh, it's not Keldon time.
No, it's not Keldon time. I was going to say, do you summon her first before you plot twist, but I guess Base would rather try to finish the quest.
Yeah,
And
makes
maybe
sense.
use the hero power. Yeah.
You want to get that hero power in line as early as you can, and if you
Ooh,
can
that's a
finish the
little
quest
rough.
at this point.
Correct me if I'm wrong. We saw both Moarks played already, right?
We did.
Okay. Yeah, so that's... the Sense Demons is going to be useless minus the... you know, unless she plot twists the back.
Yeah, I think at the same time, you're fine. Hockey is probably
It is
playing...
fine.
He's planning to win at this point with the Molly play. So a lot of what Base seems to be doing is just play around it, keep putting boards so he is forced to deal with them, and
Right.
hope you can survive Alex Molly, which seems like a thing right now.
Yeah. So I think if Base wants to put up the big taunt, I think the play here is Abyssal Summoner, Rain of Fire, and then Zephyrus for like a Whirlwind, right?
I don't think you want to waste your Zeph. You could also just Zephyrus for Conk at this point.
Right. I'm just thinking like from perspective of because the problem is it seems like if she was thinking about trying to remove the board through other means, she would have used Plot Twist by now. Oh no, I'm an idiot because the Zephyrs cost 0. This is even
Yeah,
better.
the Zephyrus got 0. That's what I was thinking.
No, I apparently can't count.
That's fair.
But this is going to be a Mally drop.
Yeah. And you could be thinking maybe Mally survives, but we know there's a Keldon in hand. There's no fear that this guy survives.
Right. But obviously, Hockey knows that the Keldon is really the only out to this. The only like easy answer, at least. There we go. Very direct. Mally's gone.
Yep. And there's a 0 mana 5/5 dragon, which really helps as well once those storms are developed again.
Good explorer comes prepared.
So we could see an Alex here and just Alex their face and say, okay, now you're at 15. Can you keep surviving?
Just think if Hockey had held on to the Malagos and then would have been able to Alex and then would have had the Mally and double fire for 12.
Exactly.
I mean, I get why he did that. You know, big threats require answering. Oh, right, discarding the Mount Seller. That's rough.
That's rough. You wanted that card to put on a last board if you could, but that's not happening. And we know this board is going to be real easy to kill. You're not even going to spend mana. Or if you do, you're going to Rain of Fire, but I can see both ways happening. Oh, yeah, you don't spend mana.
Oh, no, you Netherwing into Alex.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
No, yeah, no questions there. That's huge, because being able to develop a a removal of the board followed up by Dragon Queen Alex, that's insane.
Yeah.
Not the
And we'll see
best
here.
draws off of it, though.
The Deathwing is actually not that bad if he still had a board to put, just because it
Oh,
is a
for
board
sure.
clear.
That's fair.
I think you can play the Kobolds and maybe coil your own guy or something if you want to keep the spells.
Mm. Yeah, definitely Rain of Fire. That seems
Also
reasonable.
fine. Yeah. I think coil's better just because it deals less damage to yourself, but that's fair.
I think she probably would have played Coil if she didn't have the other Rain of Fire in hand.
Sure.
But I could also see the argument of she should have just played the Mortal, so that this way she now has both Rain of Fires to like clear another board of Glowflies.
Well, that is lethal, in case...
That is lethal. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Based after struggling the first 2 games, going up with 1 game win, but still down 2-1.
I actually think this is really important because the Warlock is the deck you don't want to face Druid with.
No, I definitely, but... No, go ahead. Sorry.
Having the Warlock pass just means a lot, I feel. It's going to be about, can we get that Demon Hunter out of the Druid? Because, well, and the Warrior. But the Warrior can always just high roll with Giants, and Druid does not like facing 5/8s with Rush.
I think with Warrior, it's not... Warrior, it's going to depend on a number of things. And I think with Demon Hunter, it's going to be about how much early momentum is base going to have
Right.
to avoid the possibility of falling victim to like a huge Mount Seller play.
Right. We do see the Warrior game.
Mm-hmm.
I must protect the wild.
So there's Corsair Cache, one of the most important cards in the Warrior side, and we also see the pretty nuts combo of Breath of Dreams into Glowfly, or just into anything. Breath of Dreams with the dragon is insane.
Yes. Hockey will be able to coin into that on turn 3, which is pretty nuts.
Yeah, at the same time, he's not getting that many 2/2, so I don't think he'll do it that turn. He might just wait a bit more until he has enough spells to have something.
That's fair. And base decides to just develop the challenger. Interesting.
It's interesting that base did not come with a bomb list.
I think there's a very interesting... Again, I think it's a very interesting discussion regarding the two. Both decks are definitely viable. I'm going to assume she had some reason behind wanting to bring the Enrage list over Bomb.
Sure. I think the main difference is the Enraged list loses to Quest Warlock versus the other one wins.
Right, I was going to say, I think I agree with that. It seems like from looking at her strategy of banning the Demon Hunter and leaving up both the Druid and the Quest Warlock, Bomb would have been the better call. But, I mean, people have their own strategies, and it's not like Enraged Warrior is a bad deck. Far from it.
Must burn them all.
Right.
Yeah, I think at this point, Dragon Queen is going to be your best bet. I know right now, Based is really hoping she can find a way to, she can draw into, an Inner Rage and then just rampage into Bloodsworn Mercenary, but nothing like that just yet. And now she finds herself in a tough spot due to this Glowfly Swarm because no Risky Skipper to be found just yet.
Yeah. At the same time, there could be a Taunt Lackey, Rush Lackey. We are seeing the Dragon Lackey, but could have been interesting. Skipper would have been insane just because you get enraged, you can go crazy with Skipper here.
I'll just say it. If I'm playing this matchup, I often prefer to keep the skipper in hand opening hand because I think
Oh yeah.
because I think at this point your biggest fear is them having a glowfly swarm turn.
Yeah.
Because if they have some kind of big play later on, Risky Skipper's not going to do anything about that, but you also have more time to develop possible answers. Whereas with Glowfly Swarm, it's just like Risky Skipper or bust.
I agree. I think Risky Skipper is a keep in this matchup. In most matchups, it is not, but in this matchup, yeah.
Yes. I mean, I think it is key against Demon Hunter.
Yeah. I think that one's more arguable. But in this matchup, I think you really need it if you can.
I think we could both agree this is one of the more one of the matchups where it's the most impactful.
Yes. Oh yeah. So
and now suddenly the tide is turning.
Yeah.
Drink your blood, eat your flesh.
So looking at Hockey's hand, Lotus, what do you think is going to be his next play for next turn? Because he's got a bunch of options.
I kind of like the Molly play. It clears. You can
It
kill
does.
way too many important targets, and it's not an easy threat for your opponent to deal with.
That's true. He does have, if he plays the Mally, he can actually clear all 3 of these big minions, which is insane.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. This matchup is not about going OTK with Mally, so I just want to board control here. And Mally does exactly that.
And then the best part is, Hockey can still have some great follow-up plays next turn, especially knowing that it's going to be another turn before base plays Deathwing, which she does have. But,
Yeah.
you know, depending on what he plays, it's I guess we'll have to see how much of an impact it could have. But, like, look at all of this.
Yeah. I also don't see any way that Mally dies right now, which is scary. Mally should never live. That card, if it lives, the game is going to be really rough.
Yeah, I think at this point,
You're
it's just a
kinda
matter of, you know, playing Deathwing next turn, and that's your only hope, really, to clear it.
Yeah. So there's no OTK.
I'm fine with this, though.
Yeah.
This is like no like as much as Hockey could argue, oh, it would be nice to draw some like a swipe off of the fungal fortunes. You don't need it.
No.
You absolutely do not need it.
No. That bump going face is actually good. Even if it was just for one, you didn't care about anything else.
No, no.
That being said, this turn is a bit more awkward because Overflow doesn't work as you want it to. You need to draw something.
It's true. It is going to probably hit some portals. Now, the real issue here, though, is base could potentially have lethal next turn, depending on what happens here.
Yeah, an inner rage draw would be insane. We can see the swipe, which is
That's
very
gonna
tempting.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I also don't really see a problem with playing Crystal Power to heal yourself back up, just to play it safe. You've got 2 of them, you're going to have some options next turn. I think this is looking very grim for Based, unfortunately.
A conundrum.
I think at this point she's what, hoping for an Ethereal Lackey for Brawl?
Yeah, and I'm not seeing that happen.
No.
I
The
guess
armor's going to
that's
gain a little bit of armor, but
It kind of ends it though. There's nothing you can do.
no, that is 26 damage on board.
Well played.
Yeah.
a valiant effort from base, but Hockey is unfortunately for her is going to take 3-1.
Yeah, Hockey takes the match 3-1. Quite a match. This was a really, really good match. Interesting plays from both sides. Let me message
I think
Hockey to see if he comes for an interview.
I think we can safely say we definitely saw some matchups that you don't really get to see often in THL. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think this was a very non-traditional match. We saw quite a few different decks. I think just the Quest Warlock is such a fun deck. I'm very glad that it's a part of the meta right now. It's just a great deck to have
See,
around.
I'm missing 2 legendaries from it, and I'm still I'm still determining if I think it's worth it to craft both of them for it. That's the problem.
Right.
But I gotta say, with a somewhat unorthodox lineup from Hockey, it's very cool to see how well he piloted it.
Yeah. Let's see if Hockey has accepted my Discord friend request. Yes, he has. Hey, Hockey, can you hear us?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good after that win?
Yeah, how did the match feel?
All, I was surprised it wasn't Bomb Warrior, but other than that, I thought it was pretty well. Like, like the decks that we thought he was gonna bring, he brought.
Yeah.
I was sad that Octosauri didn't get to be shown on stream, though. That was disappointing.
Which deck had Octosauri?
I had Octosauri in my Paladin deck.
Really?
Yeah. One
Oh my
Octosauri
God.
and 2 Pyromancers is the only reason why it wasn't pure Paladin.
Huh.
And
I was
Octosauri
wondering
is
about that because I was like, we knew it wasn't a pure build when we saw the Pyromancer, but we weren't sure, like, okay, what cards are you running instead? Because my first thought was running the more draw cards like Novice Engineer and Loot Hoard or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Octosauri is all those cards wrapped up in one.
I
That is true.
mean,
You're not
yeah.
wrong about that.
It's
Yeah.
so that you can play more defensive stuff. Like I run double subdue, I run a Lightforge bluff.
Yeah. Also the
Double
Aldor.
Aldor Peacekeeper. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely looked like a defensive build, which it makes a lot of sense with the opponent you were facing, because other than the Warlock, that helps against all other matchups.
Yeah, it's really good into Demon Hunter and Warrior.
Right. Right, the fact that you can play more defensive just really boosted. I'm still surprised that people are bringing Paladin. We featured 2 matches with Paladin today.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a shocker.
Yeah,
And
no,
the
the
crazy
class
thing
is
is,
really
I
bad.
actually am surprised that only one of them won because, as we can say, like from the previous match, it definitely looked like Saku was going to get at least one win with that Paladin deck.
No, Paladin's really bad. So our original thought is so base brought Hunter and Druid 2 weeks in a row before. So we were kind of targeting those two. So the thought was
Right.
Paladin and Warlock, and Demon Hunter. The Paladin was going to be Murloc, and then the Warlock was going to be Zoo, and it beats both Hunter and Druid. And then
Right.
Demon Hunter beats everything, and then we couldn't figure out like the best 4th deck, so the best one was just kind of like the Spell Druid Mirror, if they're going to do that. In just for the specific target Hunter and Druid lineup.
It's interesting that you didn't go with a Warrior there. I would have expected a Warrior instead of a Druid.
It
Yeah.
loses to Highlander. But I mean, in hindsight,
Yeah.
Warrior probably should have been a bring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Given what base brought, I can definitely see that. Now, the one thing I have to ask about, because I think one of the probably my favorite moment of this entire stream today, that first game where you ripped the, I always forget the name of that card, the 7/8 taunt that replaces everything with legendaries.
The Archfiend for Fam, yeah. I threw at the
Yeah,
end of
for
that
Fam,
first game, and
exactly.
I'm upset about that.
that like you were trying to draw a card. I think you were at 1 health, and you managed to pick that up, and it was just it was just like this miracle draw that saved you and ended up giving you the game win. Like that was just exciting right there.
If I'm being honest, I was looking for the second Nether Breath because then I could heal for 60. And
Right.
then I wasn't
That's
even
fair.
thinking about the Reform, and then when I saw it, I was like, oh, this kind of works. But I lose if he had
Yeah.
the 6 or the Glaive Bound adapt, and then I'm kind of upset that I played the Siamat for taunt there, because it gave him that out.
Yeah.
On the...
It gave him a way to just chip himself down without killing him.
She was at 14 health exactly, so she had like tanking that twice would have killed her.
Right.
So that was like,
because she was at 7 on the last
it was
turn.
like perfect. What was that?
She was at 7 on the last turn, but in my defense, I was playing around Iron Beacon.
No, but the turn you played the Refam, she was at 14.
Oh, yeah. So she couldn't double tank that, but she could just hit it once and then kill me with Glaive Bound at death.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's what I was thinking. When you play the Siamat, I think I said, I don't know if I love the Siamat just because it gives a chance for Glaive Bound Adept proc. I think, honestly, was the Reform also attack against Bomb Warrior? Because it's an interesting thought of just turning your bombs into legendaries.
Yeah, so I literally put it into my deck 5 minutes before the game started. So originally I had the 2-mana card. The one that turns all your neutrals into that, because I forgot Reform was a card that existed. I thought it rotated, right? So I had that in, and I was
That's
like,
fair.
oh, well, that's just good against Bomb Warrior, because I figured that Bomb Warrior is just his best bring if you saw Paladin and this, because it shuts off Pure Paladin, right?
Yeah.
So we had that Worm Wrist Purifier in, and then before our match, because it was delayed, so thank you Saku and Shunsui for going to game 5. Because that was delayed, I was just like building, like I was looking in the collection, looking at dumb cards that I can build around for decks. And then I saw Reform, and I was like, oh, this is better than the 2-mana card in against Bomb Warrior, so I just threw that in real quick.
Pretty sick, I won't lie.
Yeah. Well, do you have any last questions, JR?
Not questions, but I was going to say, it's funny, when I was talking about my history with hockey and how long he's been in THL, I feel like I should have mentioned, like, hockey is one of the most, I think, innovative players as far as THL goes, because he's never afraid to, like, make some, like, off-the-wall choices with some of his deck lists. And like, say what you will about like whether you agree with the choice or not, but this man has managed to find a lot of success. Because as I remember when we first played each other, and we were both 3 seeds, and to see how much you've improved your PR since then just kind of makes me go, wait, what? Like, it's really something to behold.
Thanks. If you want to see more interesting, quote-unquote, innovative deck lists, I'm playing on stream against Sage on Tuesday. So that might be a meme fest.
Ooh.
Wait, wait a minute. For what?
Next. I play
Like, for
Sage
next week, you've already decided?
Because we're playing on stream on Tuesday after Saloon.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm assuming for Hero?
Fun.
I think someone called it the Battle of the 4 Dads, because we had to kick him off of Dad Legend last season.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That is actually pretty funny. Well, we'll definitely look forward to that. We'll have to make sure there's a plug for that at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's a match I know I'm not going to miss. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, I want to watch it. I want to watch as much content as I can. And I think if you want to be on stream, just repeating, message us. You can message me. You can message JR. You can message Baze. You can message Donde, Saku. Everyone's looking for matches. And just let us know your schedule, how you're feeling. Talk to your player to make sure that they're willing to be on stream first. And honestly, it's a blast. It's just fun to be here casting and just playing. And you get to make fun plays. You get us to comment. We'll try to give you some insight. We'll say bad things as well because we get crazy and just tunnel vision on specific plays. So before we finish, I just want to ask Hockey, do you have anyone you want to shout out?
I'm going to shout out my boy Octosaur.
Sure. Shout out for Octodaddy. Anyone else?
Shout out for Isocles for letting me bring these decks.
Sure. That's
And
fair.
shout out to Twitch Prime. Those subs really help us run this stream.
They do.
Yeah, seriously. Thank you guys.
They do. Well, that being said, I think this is a good time to close. I want to thank Hockey and Baze for playing their match on stream. I want to thank Saku and Shinsui for playing that match on stream. Thank you, Baze, once more for just being on stream, for casting for the first match, and thank you, JR, for joining me for both matches.
My pleasure. This was a lot of fun. And I will also just end by saying this was also a pretty great win for you, Hockey, just because your team was down 12-1, and you obviously needed those points.
Yeah, I'm thinking we can come back this week, but the points do help.
The points do help.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you have to play against my team next week, so I'm sorry. It's going to continue to go downhill for you.
Oh, you're playing the three people on the show in consecutive weeks. It's like, first you play against me.
He's not playing me next week, but he is playing my team next week.
Okay, he did literally play me last week in Legacy. And now it's Baze.
I'm sorry I'm not a 1 seed like you and Based.
You'll get there.
No, I'm not catching up to Catman anytime soon. Let's put it that way.
Well, I guess this is a good point as any to stop. So thank you all for coming as usual, and we'll see you all on the next Schoolstone episode. See you all next weekend.
Take care, everybody.